Spot, what was the first new weapon added to Fortnite? For those of you that did not play back in Season 1, you guys probably don't know because there have been so many guns added to this game that you just don't know which one was the first. So for those of you that are super OG, I mean like you guys who played Fortnite back when the game first dropped back in September, the first real gun to come out was the TAC SMG and the scoped AR, but that was actually a couple of days after the release of the game, so we're not going to count that because the game really wasn't that popular back then. The first real weapon drop was actually the silenced SMG. That was the first new weapon we got, and that was about a month or so after the game came out, and that's when the game was kind of picking up steam. So for those of you who played back in Season 1, we had all of the base weapons, including that scoped AR and the TAC SMG, all the base weapons, and the first new weapon drop we ever got was the silenced SMG. It's kind of cool that the silenced SMG is actually still in the game. You know, some of those base weapons that we had when Fortnite first came out aren't actually in the game. Like one example is the regular SMG is no longer in the game, but the silenced SMG definitely isn't a popular gun, so it might be one weapon that is going to be on its way out very soon, but hopefully not. I kind of hope it just stays there because it was the first legit weapon drop we ever got, and it's kind of cool having it in Fortnite to this day. So coming in at the number 4 spot on today's list, for those of you who played Fortnite back in Season 1, you'll probably remember that there was no such thing as a battle pass. And one of the most searched things about Season 1 on Google about Fortnite is the Season 1 battle pass. And the thing is, there was no such thing. We had something called the Season Shop instead. It was kind of a different version of the battle pass. It's a weird version of it, which I'll explain. So, of course, the way the Battle Pass works now is you pay, what, 950 V-Bucks, and then you actually have to rank up your Battle Pass, and of course, as you rank it up, everything you unlock you get for free immediately, right? You don't have to pay for these things once you unlock them, but in the Season Shop, things worked a little bit differently. So in the Season Shop, the way it worked is as you ranked up your account, right? Your account level, as your account level went up, you unlocked things like gliders, skins, and pickaxes, but instead of receiving these things immediately like you would with the Battle Pass, you were only given the option to buy these things with V-Bucks. So you unlocked the option to buy them. It was a really weird system, and there's a reason why it only lasted for that one season, of course. Season 2, they introduced the Battle Pass. So it was a really weird thing. I know I never bought any of these skins or gliders. They were pretty lame, which I kind of regret doing now because those skins and gliders and pickaxes are so incredibly rare right now. But yes, the Season Shop was a thing. There was no Battle Pass in Season 1. So coming in at the number 3 spot on today's list, I have the Pumpkin Launcher. And the Pumpkin Launcher is such a unique weapon, and we've never had anything quite like the Pumpkin Launcher in Fortnite since that Halloween event that I had to throw it on this list. So the Pumpkin Launcher, like I just said, was part of the Halloween event, and that was pretty much a month after Fortnite came out, and the Halloween event was so awesome. I loved it. The skins, of course, you guys know about these skins that everybody wants, but the Pumpkin Launcher is definitely the most unique themed or holiday themed weapon we've had in Fortnite. Looking at weapons like the Snowball Launcher or even the Egg Launcher from that special Easter event, and besides those two, there really haven't been any really holiday-themed weapons. The pumpkin launcher was so awesome. So obviously, for those who don't know, the pumpkin launcher was pretty much a reskin of the RPG, and of course, you would load up a pumpkin instead of an RPG rocket, and it was so awesome because not only was it a pumpkin you were shooting at people, it had like these crazy sound effects, and when it hit something, it had another sound effect. Like, it was such an awesome weapon, and I've been kind of hoping they would redo the RPG one day, but no. It's only been the grenade launcher. They're kind of using the same model and just reskinning it, so I'm hoping that one day we might see the pumpkin launcher again next October, or just an RPG reskin would be awesome. But for those of you who played back in Season 1, you remember the pumpkin launcher and how amazing it was. So coming in at the number 2 spot on today's list, one of the biggest things right now in Fortnite has to be the skins, the pickaxes, the gliders, and of course, the V-Bucks, right? Everybody wants those V-Bucks so they can buy all the crazy skins in the game. But back in Season 1, there was no such thing as V-Bucks. There was no such thing as an item shop, and I played Fortnite probably 2 or 3 days after the official release of Battle Royale, and let me tell you, back then it was really bare, and I don't know exactly when the item shop was added into Fortnite. I couldn't find anything online about that, but I can tell you that when the game first came out, when I first played it, there was no item shop, there was no V-Bucks, and it was shortly after that, a couple of weeks after, they first introduced the item shop, and let me tell you, the skins back then were so just boring and bland, especially compared to now. Like, the skins were super bland, and of course, they were pretty expensive. Like, right now, you wouldn't pay that much for the skins you were getting back then. Of course, now those expensive skins are super flashy and super crazy, but back then, there wasn't much, right? It was just some of the basic skins that were like 15 bucks, or a pickaxe, which was 15 bucks, and it was crazy. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a screenshot of the very first or very original item shop and the things that were in there. I do have a screenshot of the Halloween event item shop. As you guys can see, there's the Ghoul Trooper and the Skull Trooper, which I really wish I got, but I didn't, unfortunately. And then you can see to the right, the daily items, and those are some of the most basic things in Fortnite, especially today. Like, those are super basic things, but that's what the item shop was filled with back when it first came out. And for those of you that played back then and remember when there was no V-Bucks and there was no item shop, it's crazy to see how far Fortnite has come. So coming in at the number 1 spot on today's list, if you're somebody who started playing Fortnite recently, you'll never know what it's like to play a Season 1 game of Fortnite. And here in the number 1 spot, guys, we're not talking about a feature that's missing or a weapon or something in the item shop. This has to do with the way people played back in Season 1. And for those of you who did play back then, you will notice this right away. If you played Season 1 and then never played again and start playing now, you would instantly notice a massive difference. And that is the way people built. Back in Season 1, people just simply didn't build. And obviously there was some building going on, but nothing like today. You would never see these crazy build-offs like you do today. You never see these crazy high towers like you do today. It was so simple and so basic, and that's because people just didn't have those building mechanics down. And nowadays, the big difference is a bad player will at least attempt to build. And back in Season 1, most people wouldn't build at all. Like, not everyone was building in a match, and today it's like every single player is building no matter what. So that is the biggest difference. And if you're somebody who did build in Season 1, you had such an advantage because just a large portion of the player base wasn't good at building, and they didn't even try to build. So that has to be the biggest difference between Season 1 and now. And I definitely remember just the lobbies were completely different than they are today. So there we have it, guys. Those are 5 things that only Season 1 players will remember. And what I want you guys to do right now in the comment section below is let me know what season did you start playing Fortnite, and maybe I'll do another episode of this and do 5 things only Season 2 players remember, because a lot has changed from season to season. I'll just keep going until we hit the current season. So besides that, guys,